After her husband killed himself after less than a week on an antidepressant, a widow sued the pharmaceutical company for its failure to warn doctors of the risk of suicide in Motus versus Pfizer. Victor Motus had been seeing Dr. Gerald Trostler for his diabetes and high cholesterol. At a visit in 1998, he complained of an assortment of problems. Motus had lost all his savings and continued to lose money on a bad investment. He couldn't sleep, he had numbness in his hands, and his job and political problems were troubling him. Trostler concluded that Motus was moderately depressed, but not depressed enough to need a mental health professional and not suicidal. Trostler prescribed Motus the antidepressant Zoloft. Trostler gave Motus a sample packet of Zoloft he'd received from a Pfizer representative. This packet had no warnings on it, and Trostler didn't give Motus a package insert or any other information about Zoloft's potential side effects. He didn't warn Motus that Zoloft might cause suicidal thoughts or an increased risk of suicide in the first weeks of use. 6 days later, Motus fatally shot himself. Motus's widow sued Pfizer, alleging that its inadequate failure to warn of the risk of suicide caused her husband to kill himself. Trostler testified that he probably heard of Zoloft from journal articles or Pfizer representatives. He was aware of some links between antidepressants and increased suicide, but discounted these reports. Based on his clinical experience, Trostler decided that Zoloft was appropriate for Motus's case. Pfizer conceded that its warnings about the risk of suicide were inadequate. However, it argued that Mrs. Motus couldn't demonstrate that this inadequate warning was the proximate cause of her injury because Trostler would have prescribed Zoloft even if the warning had been adequate. Pfizer asked the court to grant summary judgment.